Hello there and welcome back to today's video. Today we're going to be looking at Donald Trump's effect on the GOP. So, unless you've been living under a rock for the past 5-6 years, you've known that Donald Trump has reshaped American politics forever, winning states that haven't been won since H.W. Bush and Reagan. So we're going to look at the effects that he's had on the GOP. So in his 2016 run, they had he managed to win the Rust Belt in sort of shocking, not expected victory. A lot of pollsters predicted Clinton would win. They had Iowa tied, Clinton ahead 5 points, Michigan, Pennsylvania, Wisconsin. Clinton had 3.3% in Ohio. They expected a massive victory for her, and it turned out not to be. As Donald Trump won in sort of infamous or famous election, whatever your beliefs are. And also, there's a lot of reasoning behind Donald Trump winning. First of all, he's a very strong candidate. Even if you're a Democrat, you'd have to admit Donald Trump is a very strong candidate. He has a huge base, and sort of woke up a sleeping giant that had been fueling up with anger for the past 8 years, or even in the Bush administration and in the Clinton. You'd even had some people that had voted for Reagan and then thought Donald Trump was a sort of back to Reagan type. And also the Democratic Party, Bernie Sanders, he brought out the crowds he energized people. Hillary Clinton could barely bring up 5 people in a crowd. I mean, you could even, a Democrat could even admit that, you didn't hear mass news about massive Hillary Clinton rallies or Hillary Clinton rallies. You saw stuff about Bernie Sanders rallies. You saw stuff about Donald Trump rallies. You saw more about Ted Cruz rallies than you did see about Hillary Clinton rallies. And she cannot connect with the Rust Belt vote. So we're gonna have a look at his effect. So again, if you come back, you look at 2008, a Democratic, 2000. We'll have a look at 2004. It wasn't a Republican sweep year, but they still managed to win by a reasonable margin. And Bush won states like New Mexico and Colorado. But if you look at the past Republican presidents or candidates since before Trump until 1988, you'll see the difference. Okay, so we're in 2004, and Bush ran. Kerry was not a particularly strong candidate, not particularly liked. Won Wisconsin, won Michigan, won Pennsylvania. You go back to 2000. Al Gore won Wisconsin by a very narrow margin, but still won it. Won Michigan by 5%, and won Pennsylvania by 4.2%, and won Iowa as well. You go back to 1996. You've got, again, Bob Dole is not a strong candidate, but still, you see Clinton winning it by 13.2%, 10%, 9.2%, Iowa 10%, Ohio 6.4%, and Florida, you have a look and it's got 5.7%. You go back to 1992, again 4.4%, 7.4%, 9%. Then you go back to 1988. In 1988, which was a landslide victory for the Republicans, Bush got 426 electoral votes, Dukakis only 112, and still Wisconsin went to Dukakis by 3.6%, Iowa by 10.2%, and Michigan and Pennsylvania both did go. And there was only 1 year where a Republican outperformed Trump in the for the past 30-40 years. 1984 and 1980 were one of the only years in the past 40 years that a Republican outperformed Trump in the Rust Belt. H.W. Bush, strong candidate, still won 1988. Maybe that's partly on Dukakis, or just America was still sort of inclined in the Reagan era. But still, 9.2%, 19%. You'll never find a Republican like Reagan again. You'll never see this map in American politics for in the next 20 years. You'll never see this. And, you go back to 1980, 4.7%, still won it. And then 1976, still Wisconsin and Pennsylvania and Michigan went forward, but still and then you skip 2008, comes to 2008. Wisconsin went by 13.9%, Michigan went by 16.5%, and Pennsylvania by 10.3%. Michigan was a solid Democratic state in 2008, a solid Democratic state. You come to 2016, boom, Trump wins it. And then you have a look back at 2012. Again, didn't go as much because, Paul Ryan, but still 6.8%, 9.5%, and 5.4%. Ohio going by 3%, and Iowa going by 5.8%. And you go back to 2008. Indiana went to Obama by 1%. Ohio, 4.6%. And Iowa, 9.5%. I know Obama, was one in a lifetime Democratic candidate, but you have a look, 1% going to Obama for Indiana. You come and have a look at 2016, 19.2% going for Trump. So, I mean, no matter what you say, there's some people didn't vote. There are people who voted for Obama in 2008 and 2012, and even people who voted for Kerry in 2004 and 2000. And you could even find there's still people who voted for Clinton both times who ended up voting for Trump. And you might, if you go back far enough, or if you look at a lot of older people that voted for Trump, you could even find some people that voted for Hubert Humphrey or Jim McGovern that then ended up turning to vote for Trump. So there's been a huge sort of shift, but the Democratic Party has shifted since the Clinton era, and just Clinton was a conservative Democrat, but still they he outperformed many Republican candidates. So we're gonna have a look at the Senate maps when Donald Trump's impact on the Senate now. So in the 2016 Senate elections, first of all, before we start, you can't deny that Donald Trump has had a huge impact on the Senate. Many senators he's sort of helped many senators sort of win. So in 2016, the Republicans still had control in 2014 and in 2012, I think, and in 2012 the Democrats had control. But so in 2016, you see the Republicans lose 2 seats, but they're still remaining. Mitch McConnell at that time supported Trump. You can see that not really anymore. He supported Trump. Then you have a look at 2018. You had a lot of, this was 2 years in the midterms. Democrats were saying, we're going to win the Senate, we're going to win the House. They won the House on an anti-Trump basis, but you have a look here. The Republicans gained 2 seats, and the Democrats lost 2. They'd gained 2 seats in the midterms. It was sort of a big victory for the Republicans, And then you come and have a look at 2020. Trump, this was in a sort of a good year for the Democrats-ish. Still, it's a 50-50, Senate, in the Senate. It's 50-50 Senate. So Donald Trump's had a huge impact on the GOP. You go and have a look back, and if you come and have a look back on the 20 in the early 2000s during the Bush administration, you'll see the Democrats had 57 seats to their Republicans 41. You have a look back at 2006, Democrats had control of the Senate. you go back to, that was in 2000, you go back to 2004, the Republicans had control. So, and then you go back to 2002 as well, the Republicans had control. And then you go back to 2000. So you cannot deny that the GOP has done a lot better under Trump administration. They've done a lot better for the whole of, or the majority of George Bush's second term, the Democrats had control. So you cannot deny that the Democrats have done a lot better. I mean, the Republicans have done a lot better under Trump, and a lot of their views have changed. And also, you have a look at the McCain. McCain was, if you compared McCain to Trump, I mean, to this day, I think if McCain was still alive to this day, you'd find McCain maybe switching to an independent, or maybe even switching to the Democratic Party. Maybe not the Democratic Party, but most possibly him switching to independent. McCain despised Donald Trump, and if he heard all this election fraud and then the Capitol riots, if he was there on the day of the Capitol riots, I have no doubt in my mind that McCain would have become an independent. No doubt in my mind that McCain would have become an independent. So, as we look at the 2016 Republican primaries, Donald Trump won with 45% of the Republican vote, with, again, Ted Cruz finishing in second. Donald Trump knew how to tap in to that base. People were angry. People didn't like Hillary Clinton. You could maybe blame Hillary Clinton you can maybe blame Hillary Clinton for Trump's loss, because it's not proven that Donald Trump is the candidate that won Pennsylvania, Michigan, Wisconsin. It's not proven that it just because Trump was a candidate. George Bush did better than Trump in Wisconsin. So, maybe it could have been Hillary that was the problem, or maybe it wasn't. Maybe it was the timing and the moment. And I've no doubt in my mind, if coronavirus never happened, Donald Trump would have been elected to a second term. That was most people's motives for voting for Biden, because of coronavirus. If there was no coronavirus, then, or even with coronavirus, if sort of Donald Trump responded to it a lot earlier than he did, then maybe you would have seen a second Trump presidency. But no, you're 2024. If Donald Trump does run, depending on who the candidate is, if it is Joe Biden that he goes against again, I think I have no doubt in my mind that Joe Biden would win again. Kamala Harris, closer, but still, I think Kamala Harris could beat Donald Trump. Maybe if it was sort of someone else, so maybe Pete Buttigieg sort of type, if he was running, then probably not. I'd say Trump would be elected to a second term. So it is to do with the Democratic candidate as well. But and also I just noticed this: the 2016 result and the 2020 result were the exact same. Because if you look, Biden got 306 to Trump's 232. They're just reversed. 2016, Trump got 306 and Clinton got 232. So yeah, so thank you for watching today's video. Stay tuned for more. I'll be recording one just now, and then I'll post it about 10 minutes after this one. So thank you for watching this video, and if any of these the things I've said seem biased, I assure you I was not intending to be biased. But thank you.